Guys, thanks so much for joining me on this video. I am up here on Dartmoor. What a lovely and fantastic place. We had torrential rain getting here this morning. The roads were literally flooded, so it kind of delayed us a little bit. Behind me, the beautiful Nuns Cross cottage, or Nuns Cross farm. And it's a bunkhouse now, so you can kind of rent it out. Lovely place, beautiful area, and of course it was Stapleton's house from the famous Sherlock Holmes, Hound of the Baskervilles. I'm going to use this place for a couple of our courses that I'm going to be running pretty soon, but I'm also going to have a few friends over in a lake camp meet up here. The location is absolutely gorgeous. It's in breathtaking scenery with kind of fox tor, which was known as Grimpin Mire, kind of looking out and panning over the whole area. The weather up here is really unpredictable, so people that use the facilities here or even come here while camping, just be warned, you know, even the best of days you can have some really heavy rain. It can be a real issue if you're not prepared for it. I'm going to have a little look around the area because I want to try and work out all the facilities that are up here and stuff that we can actually use. There's one thing that we can do is navigation here, because miles of moorland. It's a fantastic place, and this would be the place to come to go stargazing. And I kind of can see me just laid out on a blanket on the lawn there looking at the stars, because obviously you've got no light pollution here at all. In fact, this is probably the only house for quite a few miles away. It is used by a lot of school and educational programs, and of course being on Dartmoor, the area, you've really got to be respectful. So if you are coming up here, just make sure you take your litter home with you and leave no trace. The moors are being hammered at the moment after the lockdown due to people coming up here and being really irresponsible in the way that they camp. And I know the Dartmoor Rangers and the Dartmoor Wild Camping groups are doing their utmost to try and help patrol and police and clean up people's mess, which is a great shame. We shouldn't have to be doing that. Remember, if you go wild camping, it is literally what you can carry on you, not what you can carry in your car. So you need to get it into your backpack and you need to walk out. Just be really sensible of what you're doing. There's no fires to be had on the moor, so just be warned about that. Having a campfire here could be devastating for the local wildlife, and of course this place being of natural interest. You kind of set back research a lot of years by wild campfires, so just be mindful of that. There is zero open fires, so you will need to bring a gas stove or a small cooker if you're going to have a hot meal here. But yeah, what a fabulous, absolute fabulous place to come out to. Clouds are building again behind me, and I think we're all going to have some more rain on us, and we're not really worried about that. We've found quite an easy track to get to this place, which will be much better than walking in from Princetown, which is a fair old walk. Yeah, nice. I will get a brew on in a minute. I can kind of get the jet boil out, have a cup of coffee, and then just explore the area a little bit and see what we can find. But you've got to admit, if you could own a house and do it up, well, I wouldn't look any further than this, I'll tell you. A lick of paint, maybe the odd slate back in place, plenty of bunk beds in there, so you'd never have to worry about making one bed in the morning. Fabulous. Let's get a brew on and have a look around. So I kind of just spun the camera around, and directly behind the camera now is Nuns Cross Farm, and this is the view you've got in the mornings from the windows here. All the windows, by the way, they all do open up them shutters. I don't want you to think you've got to stay in there with all them closed. And this is the view. It's absolutely fabulous. You can imagine what they lived like here years ago with just oil lanterns and candles. There's no power to this place, so don't think you're going to come here and sit down on your iPad, because that ain't going to happen. Phone signal is on and off here. It's a bit awkward. One minute you've got signal, then you've got nothing, and that's the mystery of the moors, I suppose. Lots of it. But what a view to wake up to, and I can only imagine how hard it was for farming here years and years ago. Imagine the old oil lamps ticking over and the candles. I would say the garden area was probably a little bit better than this. Of course, nature does take over eventually when there's nobody living or, you know, inhabiting the area. Fantastic. I've actually plonked you on top of an old stone wall, and I'm trying to age it, but it looks really old. It's hard to put an age scale on it. Of course, some of these walls were built in the medieval times up here, and that's what Dartmoor is famous for. It used to be called the medieval Dartmoor. I love it because it's full of mystery, legend and folklore, and I love that stuff, and I love reading about that stuff. There's some real unusual plants that I've seen up here, and I struggle to identify some of them. They say every day is a learning curve, and this certainly is my favourite classroom. Amazing. Some of these cattle here have been mixed. I did find out that some of them are common to the moor, but they're also put to bull with some Welsh blacks, and that's quite interesting that they would try and crossbreed to get a hard breed to survive up in these climates. I suppose they've got to be quite light-footed on this ground because it's bogland and marshland. Yeah. But imagine waking up, coming out your front door and looking at this. You'd never get tired of that view. Never. What I am worried about is I'll show you. Hold on. And that's what I'm saying here. The weather just changes. I've got blue sky, dark sky. So there's definitely going to be a rain storm or a shower coming in. I hope it ain't like Hardy, because if it is, I will be in a lot of trouble here. I'm really not geared up for flash floods like we had earlier up here. But fantastic. You can see it building. It's coming in up over kind of Burrator into Plymouth. This cloud is just building. It makes you wonder. Well, it makes me wonder how they ever survived up here. Fantastic. So yeah. Oh, there's the view. Let me show you around, people. Not too shabby. So let's get a cup of coffee on the go and sit down, chill out, and we're going to go and find the brooks and the water courses. There was brooks put in, or leaks as they're called, and that was to supply Plymouth Dockyard with water. So we're going to go and have a look for that in a minute. And it also supplies this place because there's no running water here. So what have we got so far? You've got no electric, no running water. But what you have got is a few gas bottles I think they've put in for you to have a hot meal, which was really kind of them. This is a perfect opportunity and training facility for anyone. It's certainly going to be one that we're going to be using for the school. So it's fantastic. So yeah, coffee on the go. Just setting up the jet boil now. These are fantastic quick stoves just to boil water on. I love these jet boil stoves. They are quick, like I say, for boiling water. They're not really the best stoves, I don't think, for cooking full meals on. You'd be certainly better off with a Trangia burner or something like that. But for quick coffee on the go, there ain't much of a stove that'll beat the jet boil. I just use the small one, the Zip. There's enough there for kind of 2 drinks for 2 people. Folds up quite nice, small, not the lightest weight, but good enough for me. I don't worry too much about weight of what I'm carrying, as long as it ain't stupid heavy. A little bit of water in there, don't need much. Boil time on these are hardly anything. you've got a lid that goes on top. It really is as simple as that. They are kind of idiot proof for using, which is handy for when you're out in the elements and you need hot water fast. The hardest thing now is finding a lighter, if I've even got one. It doesn't come with an automatic starter on it, so you've got to remember to bring a light with you or you will be knackered. Luckily for me, I remembered a lighter this time. I have got a ferrocerium rod in my bag which I normally use. Pop your lid back on, turn up the gas. Now we're cooking on gas, as they say, and away you go. And let me put it down to show you. Oh, can you see it? You can't move it. Just be warned, they do get quite warm. Coffee. Obviously take your rubbish home, including your tag end, that goes in the pocket. That's my spoon. Doesn't take too long, the water's already starting to boil on these, and that's the real benefit of these jet boils. Super fast, super easy. The unit cools down pretty fast so you can pack it away. So if you are stopping and going like we often do when we're travelling from point to point across the moors, these stoves are definitely worth their weight in gold. That's the water now, it's coming to a rolling boil. And of course, while you're taking that out the river or the stream on Dartmoor, I'd probably want to leave it for a couple of minutes, just getting that rolling boil, just to kill any bacteria in there, and then just turn it off. You've got water in there. Of course, there's plenty of water up here, you don't have to worry about it. I did hear a lot of people ask about how you take these off. This part of the jet boil does get very warm. The gas canister, you can see, doesn't get warm at all. Because this is wrapped, this can be easily removed, it doesn't get warmed. And of course the jet boil lid there's got a pouring spout. You just pour your water as much as you want. Give it a stir. Job done. Fold that up. Shove it in your pocket. Coffee on the go. Just let the unit cool down before you put it in your backpack. It really is as simple as that. The unit will be cool before you finish your coffee. Oh, some 100 yards from the house, which is you're on behind the camera, you've got this beautiful leak, and this is what supplies the house with water. So I will suggest, if you come here, make sure you bring a water filter with you and filter that water before you just go and drink it, or boil it well. Let's say, due to that floods we had this morning, I'll just show you the rapids of water that are spewing in off the moors. So there's plenty of water supply here, even in the summer. Just make sure you treat it. You don't know what crap's being washed into it. Oh, lovely. So relaxing down here by the water. I love the water. Such a powerful element. Brings so much life to the moors. Pretty well much everywhere. Some fantastic plants growing along this leak. Different types. I've even seen watercress and all types of other business going on. Just amazing. Have a look at this. I'll show you something. I just caught my eye, and I really love this kind of thing here. Look at this beautiful flowers. The petal that's growing. Look. What a fantastic place. Wow. The smile on my face says it all. The wind's picking up a bit and the rain's coming. So have a look up the river. Amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, I could sit here all day and just let the world go by. Maybe I will. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There's so much energy from being in an area like this and these rustic landscapes, it's just unreal. Me and a friend of mine's talking about camping it next. We actually want to plan it where there's a storm coming in, so we can actually film the storm coming in for quite a few miles before it actually gets to camp. So we'll have to be really clever with our plan and the way that we do it, but we will. Well, look at that. Wow, absolute wow. Little hike across the moors. We're on a jolly. Are you having a laugh? Because I'm having a laugh. And of course, beautiful flowers still coming up here. What a fantastic place, but for the cyclists, what an absolute place to get lost. You'd never be struggling around here, I don't think, for anything. Trouble is, today the place is absolutely flooded. And as old Stapleton went down in Grimpen Mire, I certainly don't want to be one of them casualties. I think it was that direction in the film. The mire, never to be seen again. And tales and folklore say that ponies have gone missing here. So I better stay well clear. For some of my subscribers, they'll be delighted if it was my last video ever again. But for the foggy boys and girls out there, it'd be quite sad. We're doing some more. Love it. I kind of glide. Just want to glide this landscape. Wow. Can't do nothing about the wind, I'm afraid, on the camera. Sorry about that. We've got a bit of a drop. Hold on, people. We're going for a bounce off there. Wow. So, thanks for joining me on this video. This is, of course, Dartmoor Nuns Cross, and what a fabulous place to be. Wow, I can't wait to have our little gathering up here and start getting to know the area a lot more. It's going to be fun. So, guys, with that in mind, stay safe, stay good. Enjoy every day you have, because it could be your last one. See you on the next one.